Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of If Not Now When by yours truly, Ari Champagne. Hello, welcome, and welcome back if you're returning. If you're new here, hi, I'm your host and producer, Ari Champagne. Thank you so much for joining in with me today. You can also reach me on Instagram at If Not Now When by Ari Champagne. And of course, I am listed here on YouTube, Spotify, and everywhere else. So that is the handle, If Not Now When by Ari Champagne, on most platforms that I'm on. So today I just wanted to dive in and talk about how we've assigned meaning to so much and so many different things that now in fact the things that should matter do or that do matter, it's not perceived as important, or it doesn't hold as much weight versus the things that should not matter, if I'm making any sense. Anyway, we will break it down. So again, the more that I am just around certain kinds of people, different kinds of people, while also of course consuming some small amounts of content, I'm understanding and I'm noticing that so many people have assigned meaning to things that literally do not matter, that cannot seem to matter, that literally is out of your direct control. A lot of us assign meaning to this. And again, I want to base it on being very sensitive around this topic because I have listeners all over the world. Like, don't get me wrong, I have nationwide listeners and I appreciate all of you and I love all of you and I'm very thankful you're here, right? However, I have to give myself this humility by telling myself there's nothing I personally can do with the stuff that is happening, across the world, let alone across the country and a whole different, right, continent. There's nothing I personally can do about that. All right. And like I said, I say this with full humility, right? Can I stay informed? Sure. Can I stay up to date? Sure. But there's nothing in my direct control that I should assign so much meaning and so much importance for if I can't do anything about it, you guys, right? Like I said, this is a very touchy topic, but it has to be had. We have to converse. We have to talk about the real things. Again, that should be important to us, right? What's important is that I'm able to hopefully afford groceries, right? With inflation in this in the country that I am, in the state that I am, right? What's important is that obviously we're paying down debt, we're paying down credit, your health, right? Your well-being. So having connections, going out, getting sunlight, exercising, whatever the case may be. We've placed so much meaning to everything, and now we are stuck concerned of why everything doesn't feel meaningful or useful anymore, right? There was a certain point of time, and I spoke about this back on my Decentering Men portion of the podcast. I still love that episode. I really do, because I said what I said. But there used to be a point in time where, listen, at the end of the day, listen, men adorned women, okay? There used to be a point in time where men literally went to war over women, men fought over women, men actually outwardly competed over women, right? And we were held at this standard, at this kind of this pedestal, which we should still be, right? Not every woman, not all women, but right, some women should still be held to a certain pedestal pedigree. Um, and that has simply become a lost art. And I said this on my reel that I just created on Instagram, and then I'm gonna post it on YouTube, right? I said I don't know how my mind this is correlating with we've assigned meaning to everything, to men somehow not understanding that the things that actually do matter, right, are our relationships, are men, are women. I'm saying are, like, as in is, should be, right? Those are the things that should matter, right? Again, men and women are obviously two different species. Men and women obviously serve two different purposes. We serve two, right? We're two totally different beings, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we were created here. We were meant to be here to be amongst one another, right? I say, excuse me, back to where I was heading. There used to be a time where men, like I said, he would do everything in his power, and there are still certain men who do this. I'm not saying it's lost, because trust me, right? There would be men who would do everything in his power to make sure he impressed that woman. right? Even back in the day where every where it was a nickel to get a candy bar and 10 cents to get a milkshake, right? Whatever, right? Even back in those days, he will go out of his way and buy her a milkshake or a lemonade or a burger or whatever the case may be, right? Men did the things that they wanted to do, right? They made meaning to relationships. We both did, right? Men and women, right? There were a time where women was like, you know what? I like this man, so therefore I'm gonna have him court me. I'm gonna show him a good time. I want him to come meet my family. Like there was a certain time where we made meaning to the things that mattered, that actually matter, that actually is gonna benefit us, that actually has moved society forward, right? We're all here because two people decided to have some sex. Okay, it is what it is, right? That is the fact. So when we've assigned meaning to so many things outside of us, right? We've assigned meaning to this AI, which I've been getting back in the Bible. It is absolutely in the AI is mentioned in the Bible, but it's not technically as it doesn't say it's AI, but it is that, right? We've assigned meaning to AI. We've assigned meaning to wars outside of our country. We've assigned meaning to, again, lower level things that none of us can fix, right? At the end of the day, I can't. At the end of the day, I'm a black woman. I cannot go and change that, and I don't want to change that. Period. We've assigned meaning to stupid, minute things that literally is not in our control. We cannot change. We cannot change it. Not in this lifetime, at least. So instead, we put our focus on the stuff that doesn't matter, right? Uh, harming each other, using each other, um, all this transactional nature, which it is what it is, right? Like I said, that's where we become, that's where we become, right? We've assigned so much to things that just don't matter, and then we turn around and wonder, well, why does the things that I think are meaningful, why doesn't that matter to me? Catch what I'm just saying to you. When we log off the platforms and when you are alone at night, sleep at night looking at the ceiling, and you're asking yourself and you're talking out loud or you're thinking or whoever, whatever deity you serve or not, right? And you're asking yourself, well, what truly does matter? Well, what should matter? What should I be, right? This is why nobody can figure no one out. This is why a lot of people have mental health issues these days. This is why a lot of people are lonely, depressed, upset, angry, hyper emotional, hyper fixated on stupid stuff that does not matter. Hello. Does that ever did that not ever cross your mind? Is no one thinking anymore? No, you're not, because you're too busy consuming and watching other people's lives that you think matter more, which is fine. We've all been there. I get it. Once we decide to give meaning to the things that actually should matter now, to the things that actually should be a thing, right? Once we take a step back and we're like, you know what, listen, what do I want to matter for me? What should I be focusing on, right? What is the thing that I know for a fact is in my control that I'm going to work on, that I am going to master, that I am going to control? What is that? And that's what you need to be focusing on. A lot of people right now having a lot of mental health issues, and it's only because you've assigned meaning, you've assigned importance to so many other things that you cannot control. You never will be able to control again in this lifetime. And this is why, again, a lot of people have fallen short. A lot of people have identity issues as well. This I believe this is a correlation. This whole identity thing, everyone wants to identify with everything, right? You want to identify with this, identify with that. Why? Just be. And again, I always say I'm speaking to myself with you guys. I'm not speaking at you. I was there. I once identified as, the pro black queen that wanted this, that wanted that. I've identified as so many different things that I once identified as, and I assigned meaning to things outside of myself that I could not control. And when I say I was the most unhappy and depressed ever in my life, again, it just took so much. It took so much emotional toll out of me. because I was too busy trying to put meaning on things that I couldn't directly help. And then I would fall, and then I would just look at the end of the night. Well, what was really accomplished? Well, what did I really get out of that? Well, what truly, well, right? There was, I'm serious, like I really had to take a step back and look at everything in my corner and was like, okay, so all this for what? You see, this is why I believe, a lot of our parents, if not grandparents, they were able to work, these corporate jobs for 40, 50, 60 years and still kind of come out seemingly, normal and healthy because they understood, okay, this is just a part of what I do. This is a part of what I do to put food on the table for my family. And this is also why, they also had, the third place. If you guys haven't heard of the third place theory, this is a place you go that's outside of work, outside of the gym, outside of your church community, right? Outside of your basic things, there was a third place you went to just for you, and almost like every single night. So for instance, there was Cheers, the show back Cheers back in the 90s, early 2000s that was out, right? Cheers, they would go to the bar every day, right? A lot of people, especially grandparents' age, they had that bingo night, right? Every Thursday, every Wednesday, or every Tuesday and Wednesday, right? It was that third base place that people went to that made them, that made them a person, that made them a part of their identity. We don't have that today. The average modern person goes to work, goes to gym, and goes home. Or they may go out to a bar and have a cocktail, or may go out to a dinner or somewhere, and then that's it. But that's not again, that's more so leisure, right? That's not a third place. We don't have third places anymore. Like I said, majority of people go to work, go to the gym, and they go home. Period. I just want us to kind of think about what ways can we shift, can we maneuver, can we right maybe a different mindset. What is it that we can assign meaning? Again, this is for you. Again, I've been brainstorming ever since I've kind of thought of this concept this morning. Um, well, really based from last night from a seminar I was in or listening to. What is it that I can assign meaning to that's actually going to impact my life for the better? That is actually going to give me answers, that's going to make me less anxious with people or in the world, right? That's going to give me the confidence, maybe give me a boost in salary, a boost in rate, some kind of thing where I know for a fact that I'm building this from me from scratch for me. I think the reason why I brought up relationships is because um I think a lot of people right now are lonely because again, they've assigned meaning to things outside of them. So for instance, again, a lot of men or this whole what is it, simp thing? Oh, you're a simp, or oh, you're weak for that, vagina, whatever the case. Like those are people who again you're assigned, right? So that whole frame, that whole whatever is stupid to me. Like a grown man should be attracted and want to impress a woman. Period. A grown woman, excuse me. Period. Like, how did being nice to a woman become a simp? How did being respectful and treating a woman nice and being a good, decent man to a woman, uh, uh, how does that make, like, what? And no shade, but this is where the sprinkle sprinkle concept come from. Because okay, if you guys want to look at this as like that's something so deifying, so traumatizing, then I'm just gonna look at you for your wallet. Then you guys understand how all of this is how all of this is interchanged into one. I'm not I'm not sitting here bashing sprinkle sprinkle. So please do not cut this. Do not prompt this and say I'm anti sprinkle sprinkle. I am not. I'm just saying I understand where that framework came from, because on the receiving end, other men are telling men, how dare you treat a woman with respect? How dare you like a woman, want to take her out and give her roses and give her flowers and show her a beautiful time? How dare you? What? So again, a man of his nature is to impress and hunt and go out and do good things for a woman. Now has become a framework to, oh, you're a pussy or a simp or you're weak or whatever. So now that, so I'm like, Who am I talking to? I'm sorry, right? You guys know my brain, it can go there. It goes there, right? And again, I mean, at the end of the day, we can get on women too. Women coming out here half naked in the road and dressing, but again, a woman is she's still autonomous in her own body. A woman can do whatever she wants to do, right? A woman, I said on last time, a woman created a man. So what are we really talking about right now? A woman should now, again, we are now in the times where a woman understands her autonomy for herself. I am a woman. I have rights. I have autonomy over myself, over my body. You are not going to tell me what I can and cannot do. I now go out, right? So again, everything now, again, I understand men have this, again, we've assigned so much to so many other things instead of focusing, okay, you know what matters, right? If men were truly honest with themselves, they would say, okay, you know what? A woman matters to me. Family matters to me. My legacy matters to me. And you would go out and conduct your life from that framework, period. But instead, here we are now. Well, what matters to me is what my friends think of me, my homeboys think of me, my coworkers think of me, what somebody on the internet may record me, what they may think of me. Maybe I care about what the girl I'm taking out, what her friends may think of me, right? You've assigned meaning to so many other things outside of you. You don't know now what matters. And that's why you still lay in your bed alone. I'm talking to men and women right now. I'm not just talking to men. I'm talking to both parties. Women, you've assigned meaning to that degree. So okay, that's fine. Can the degree hug you at night? No, not necessarily. The diploma can't. But again, if you made meaning out of that, then that's fine. That's you. Go ahead, go for it. I've always been an advocate for women being their best self, regardless of what. I've always been an advocate for that. Me personally, I'm not going to share what me personally what I think, but again, I'm saying I'm not going to share me personally what my framework is, but I know for me, I'm never going to assign meaning to every old thing in my life because I know what should be important. And not only that, I'm developing what is important in my life. And I'm going to base my life and I'm going to move in the framework where I know that this is what matters. This is what it is. And to be honest, it's easy to assign things outside of you to matter. It's easy because you don't have to have the responsibility, right? It's easy to cop out and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to treat a woman well because you know what? I like hanging out with my friends. You know what? I like falling back on my, I like, you see what I'm saying? So I understand why people do it. It's easy to just cop out and say what you won't do, but you're still perpetuating a cycle of what it is that you don't like. You guys listen, you guys already know I have to bring it to you. We have to start having these honest conversations. Somebody has to tell it to you. Somebody has to say it. So if everything is important, if everything is meaningful, then what do you have left? What do you have left? If everything outside of you is meaningful, what actually truly matters? What is it? Hmm? Just a thought. Just a thought. Think about it. You guys let me know what you guys think. You feel free to comment. You can comment on obviously YouTube. You can comment on Spotify. I'm not sure about iHeartRadio and others, but again, this will be listed on YouTube, Spotify. Again, feel free to shoot me a message. My email will be in the description as well if you want to collaborate or if again you just want to say something to me. Again, this is If Not Now When by yours truly, Ari Champagne. Please maximum amount of ratings on whatever platform you are on listening to and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.